ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. We ready. We ready.
I have senioritis, or what is it called as a grown woman?
Ah,
It's not you remember with the senior year of high school?
I was really trying to figure out where you were going with this.
No, it's just where you're kind of in this purgatory. That's my fancy word for place. If you're not here nor there, you're just kind of stuck in this.
Mhm.
I have a little bit. I have that. I don't know. I'm not a summer baby. The warm weather makes me more scowl than smile. But I'm still in this, and it could be I'm 65 hours from my trip to Panama. That could be it. But either way, I found that I'm not. I haven't been in my creative closet in probably about 6 months.
I don't know who you are.
Exactly. Me
Me
neither.
either.
Me neither. So yeah, I the timing of this episode of Unstuck. I need to get unstuck. I've been stuck
Mm.
for right. I'm laying on the pink couch today. So
I don't even know what's happening right now.
I know, right?
yeah, let me put
I
my
think we
stuck
all
in
have
box.
places in our life where even
Mhm.
if things are rolling smoothly and going great, there's always that one area that you could look at and say, but
Mm,
am I really doing what I want to do in that space?
mm,
I need to get unstuck.
mm.
Right. I know for me, that is, I think I lost control of the trajectory of my career once I hit like a certain level. And I need to get unstuck. I need to take my power back. I need to get control of where this career is going so that I can make something different happen than what I'm sitting in at the moment. So I think I need to get unstuck. What
I
about you,
lost
Jeej?
control of the trajectory of my career. I love those words. I don't love those words put together. But I like how they were put together. That says something. Yes, EJ.
Woo, I could go a whole lot of with this stuff. You might have to scoot over on the couch because I need to lay down. Not like a little lay down. I need to unhook some things and get comfortable. I'm just saying. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that too much? Was that too much?
Nope. This is what we do. This is what we do.
Um, it is, there are so many things, and I think the piece for me is we'll get to the point where I feel like I'm in quicksand, right?
Mm.
And it's like the more I struggle and fight, the deeper I feel like I sink into the quicksand. So it's not even just a stuck, it's a sink, right? And it makes you paralyzed. And I think that's what I struggle with, the paralysis that comes from it.
Mm.
So what? How did we get here? How do and not even having we didn't talk about our personal stuckness,
Mm-mm.
but what's the why behind that? And I don't think this is I think it's a seasonal and not fall spring. It's a cyclical. Sometime I think depending on whether it's career or family or relationships or all the above, there's this cycle that things are moving along to they're not moving along,
Right.
and where we get in this sense of stuckness. What's the why behind that?
I think for me, at least, the why behind the stuckness is distraction. right? And I'm going to just be totally transparent, right? Because I know that people probably expect you to say something that's external when you think about why you're stuck in it. But I'm a person who likes to look at how do I contribute to the situations that I find myself in? And how do I fix that first? Because I can't control what everybody else does, but I get to control me, right? And so I feel like the why behind my stuckness is being distracted by other things and deprioritizing something that wasn't an issue at the moment until it is.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know that it's distraction for me as much as, what's triggered this go around of stuck is decisions. Like I have a multitude of decisions to make in across the board in every aspect of life. And from the mundane to the really impactful. And the stuckness comes from the what if. Right? Now it's the what if, and there's so many that it's usually, okay, 5 or 6, okay, yes, no, north, south, east, west, right? Um, but, these are life, death, um, other people's livelihoods at stake, all that. So to feel the gravity of it. So I think that's the stuck, and it's so many that even now the mundane ones, the stuck is there.
Yeah, it's the classic move to inaction when
Mhm.
the and it's just, well, all you need to do is sign your name, and it's like that even seems like such an effort. And
Right.
what
My
resonated with me, I
full
think, because
name,
you,
my initials. Do you want me to use the maiden the maiden name with the married? I'm like, which signature do you want?
yeah, I think I can definitely relate to the distraction. I know I have a lot of clutter up here, and I haven't been able to land. I haven't been able to declutter what's in here, to land and place it to be able to take action. Uh, I had my first no in, I think, ever. Meaning I said I'm not a nope type
Mhm.
person. I will, I don't tell people no. I don't, I always am yes, yes, sure, yeah, yeah. I
So
had my
you
first no.
gave the no, or someone gave the no to you?
I gave a no. Oh, I'm used to no's. You can't do the work that I've done for my career and not get some
Mhm.
no's. And normally I say no as a turn on, like, oh, okay, well, yeah.
I show you
But no,
better.
I actually, I said no. And true, as a HIPAA violation, my body said no. My
Mhm.
energy said no. I had no more gives to give. I just was like thud. And
Right.
so, yeah, and I think, so for me, I live in a creative space. That's the world the clouds I float on, the air that I breathe is creativity. It never gets turned off. It has been dormant for the first time you have like a period of time, maybe it's a couple of days for me, but we're talking some months. We're talking months.
Mm. Girl, you
And
need to gain all that weight back you lost, and then you get the creative to come on back to you. The creativity was in your booty, not your booty.
does she not know we're on live TV?
I forgot.
Does she not know we're on live TV?
You know what the lights mean, Kenny? You know what the lights mean?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Um, Now it is, yeah. So there's the why behind that, because for me, um, and it's also, I'm still looking for my new normal.
Mhm.
The empty nester, single, different city. Even though it's been 5 years since I've been back in DC, it feels like, I mean, I still have to put GPS to go around the corner. It still feels like I've been here 5 minutes, but yeah, I still have to figure that part. I have to figure out that part. I still
So
have to
tell
figure
me
out.
about, because you said something and it resonated, because some, it's routine, either disruption of a routine or um, having to, create a new routine, whatever that is. But there's something about, my routine getting moved around in some way, shape, or form, because you all know how fluid and flexible I am in all aspects of my life. So when my routine gets disrupted, you know, I think that probably contributes. But when you were just talking about, just your that what just popped into my mind was routine.
So I'm going to say this though, because I think that perspective is everything, right? Um, and speaking to your flexibility, there's a difference between a disruption and an interruption, right? And
Preach.
so when we think about how we move through life, we get stuck more so when we take everything as a disruption. A disruption is something that changes the trajectory and the course
Right.
of which the direction you're traveling. That's a disruption. An interruption is something that happens for a moment in time and you go right back to doing what it is that you were engaged in after it's been dismissed. Those are two very different things. And I think perspective is everything, because if you see everything you go through as a disruption, you are going to sit in that and figure out, okay, so now what do I do? Which way do I go?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't dispute that.
Yeah. I think I've led my life as disrupt. My brand is disruptor, transformer, change person. Um, and I don't think I haven't had a routine since my kids were in the house. No AAU games, no football games, no practices, no the routine. I haven't had one in a minute. And it's interesting because that's important to me. As much as change, I need a routine. I keep saying I need a routine. I need a routine. I wake up at different times depending on the day. I go to bed different times depending on the day. I have like a 3 hour window of when I go to bed. That makes absolutely no sense. I'm literally like an untamed newborn. Okay, maybe not newborn, maybe it's 1 year old.
I don't hear anything wrong with what you're saying. There's a problem with having a 3-hour window, plus or minus. Different
Yeah,
conversation. Okay, go ahead.
that's me and my situation. You have a different diagnosis and remedy and prescription for yours, Miss CJ. So, uh,
Asking questions.
yes, yeah, no, this is what we're here for. So how do we get unstuck?
I think, so
Ladies
here,
and gentlemen, this is the first.
I know, right?
That
I
was a long pause.
because my problem isn't really knowing how to get unstuck. It's making the commitment to get unstuck, right? I think the how is always make a decision that you need to move forward, right? Because some people just sit in their stuckness and use the stuckness as the excuse for why the progress hasn't been made,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they're okay with that.
Yeah.
I think you got to make the commitment to get unstuck, make the decision on, what is keeping me here after you identify that, what is holding me in this space? What am I really afraid of? Because I feel like when we don't move forward and I'm a person who has a bias toward action. I want to, let's get it. Let's move. Let's drive. That's what I do, both personally and professionally. So all I need is the commitment to be able to do that. And I think I'm there in my situation I mentioned earlier. And now I'm off to the races, right? I'm every day, there's something that I'm putting in place and executing to get unstuck in that fashion. And when I listened, Gigi, to you earlier, and you were talking about making decisions, I think your get unstuck is going to have to come from you saying, I don't need to create more of a narrative than what is possible out of the decisions I need to make.
Mhm.
Let's make one and just go with it and have some faith.
I mean, yes, yes, and yes. And I think to that end, it is different because when I think about sort of what is going to take to get unstuck is resetting expectations. And so it's resetting the expectations I have of, whatever these decisions are and the implications therein, and the expectations realistically or unrealistically that I am assuming from others around these, around all of these decisions. So for me, is as we're talking, it really is around resetting expectations.
Hmm.
That's such an interesting. I love how your brain works.
I'm going to take that in the spirit of love in which it was intended. That's how I'm going to receive. That's how I choose to receive today.
Yeah, that's a good choice. That's a stay in the light.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's yeah, I need a for my unstuckness, I need like a earthquake, not a literal one. I need something that just to truly just disrupt and break. Um, yeah, and I don't know what that is yet. I don't know what that is yet.
Want to
So
keep 2-year-olds for a month?
I've been trying to. I'll take one. I'm not taking both of them. I'll take one. What'd you say?
I'll take the other one. So
Yeah,
you
there
take
you go.
one, I'll
There you
take
go.
one, and then she's got freedom for a
There
month.
you go. Everybody gets a little freedom. That will get me unstuck because you don't have time to get stuck. Like as soon as you try to get stuck there, you have a 2-year-old come pouncing on you. So
That
now,
part.
yeah, it's a I'm actually looking when I come back from Panama to have this. I'm going for a page turner or a chapter turner. And that people are like, well, what does that mean? I don't know. But this is not sustainable. Being stuck is not sustainable. It's not healthy. It's not who I am. It's robbing me of my I'm robbing me of my joy. Um, and my biggest joy is that creative space that I just thrive and I get inspiration from everywhere, every place. Bye, son. Bye, Jeray. Bye, Sydney. um, yeah, that's and it's intentionally not being prescriptive, um, because to me that's just more weight. I need to sit, I need to experience, and then I need to make the decision to make the decision. Decision's already been made. I just need to execute on it.
Yeah, yeah.
I just don't know what that looks like yet.
I feel that. It was like when I was writing for a book that is yet to be released, and I felt like I just got to this place where I was not being creative anymore. Everything just felt like it was repetitive, and it's like, what am I going to do? I need to get this done. I was working with a deadline with this manuscript, and I got on a plane and went to Toronto. And everybody kept saying, "Well, why are you going to Toronto?" I was like, first of all, they got great vegan food and water. And those are the two things that I need to be able to fill my cup a little bit so that I can start to replenish what's missing so I can get back to that creative space so that I could get unstuck. Right. And I did so much writing when I was there and sightseeing, and I got so much inspiration. And I didn't know what I was looking for before I got there. I just knew that I would be able to refill some kind of way. And it was so cathartic for me. And I did end up finishing while I was there. And I did more writing when I was in Toronto than I did the 7 months prior to going. So I think I hope that Panama is going to do that for you, right? I hope Panama is going to give you that thing
Well,
that helps you turn the page on getting back to that creative space.
it will, because that's one of a few reasons why I'm going. So it will. I'm curious about that journey, but yeah, and one of the things as the elder stateswoman, one of the things that that to me has just been a stress reducer by three quarters is really around the journey and not the destination. I know I need to get unstuck. I absolutely know it. And but if I focus so much on that and not just where I need to be when I need to be there, you're just adding layers of unnecessary wrinkles to your life. So
Mhm.
um I don't need any more help there. So let's
Can I get my giggle as you were going? I was like, ooh, Toronto. Ooh, Panama. I don't think going to Culver City is going to do it. I'm just saying.
I don't even know where that is. Is that the
You,
Bay or is that LA?
Down the street, up the highway.
You know I'm geographically challenged. so, so you know,
Carry on, carry on, carry on.
so let's get into the do something. Who wants to kick? What is break it? What break what down? What are we breaking down?
I think it's breaking down what is making you stuck. You can't get unstuck until you know what is making you stuck. So I think sort of breaking down what the it is and being honest about it, right? And sometimes it's, it's the big, it's the little. It could be that, ugly thing that you don't want to admit to anyone else. You don't have to, but you got to admit it to yourself and break down the pieces of it.
I was at a I was getting my nails did last night, and the woman who does my nails had a friend in town, and she said I just have felt stuck, and I was like, the timing of this, and her journey has been on. You know, she's like, I was finding myself crying all the time, and it doesn't always show. The stuckness can show up in many different ways and many different symptoms depending on who you are. For her, it showed up in crying. It's like I was crying when I woke up. I was crying in the car. I was crying on the way to my clients. I was cry. And all of my labs were, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. It's fine. And so this went on for 3 years for her. 3 years. And so, she said, I got to the Googles and I just started doing some research, and I went and talked to a chiropractor. I went and talked to, about getting Reiki. I talked about different things. And she said the worst thing that she did was she had a conversation with a friend and said, girl, you need therapy. She's like, that wasn't helpful. Thankfully, she had one more conversation, and she had it with a client and says, I think I just need some time away. And she had that one conversation with the client who, you know how we women are with your nails and your hair, and when your person goes away, you're like, but what about me and my nails?
Mhm.
And that person was just that one person was like, you need to do that. And so she told another client and another client and another, and they have been checking in on her, not in terms of, girl, when you back so I can schedule my, it's been more so around, how are you doing? How are you dealing with, what can we do to help and support? And so anyway, from a breaking it down, actually, I think it leads us more into the seek perspective, or, if you will, get out the mud.
Mhm.
And for her, as I was mentioning, she reached out to different her clients, and again, thankfully, she had that second, third, fourth, fifth conversation, because we women, men too, we humans tend to internalize quite a bit, and carry a lot more than we should. And sometimes that one bad conversation can turn you off from sharing again. And thankfully, she kept having that, but she had made that decision. I need to get out this mud because I'm not going anywhere. And the hand up that she got from her clients made the complete difference for her, in her healing journey that she's still on.
Yeah, I think that's so critical, right? That seeking perspective, getting that support, having someone that you can rely on to help pull you out of the mud. But the part about it that I think we haven't mastered yet, we as humans, right, is you can get pulled out of the mud and then run back to it. And to
There's
me,
healing properties in mud, right?
That part. That part.
There's some healing properties in mud. You burrow down in it, like, ooh, this is awesome. Sorry, that was my keyboard.
um, yeah, but it doesn't help you or serve you well if you continue to run back to the same mud you pulled yourself out of.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, when they tell you to leave something at the altar, normally we leave it at the altar for about 10 minutes and we pick it back up as soon as we're not seeing the action that we want to see and the miracle happen, right? And it's like, nope, that's not the instruction that we received. The instruction is to leave it, right? So you could get pulled out of the mud, and for instance, you could say, I'm gonna go to Panama, and I'm gonna find my refill of the cup that I usually use to pour into everybody else. But if you do that, and in Panama, you take with you all those same concerns and all those same issues, and you're still ruminating over the fact of, well, if I'm in Panama, my kids won't have a college fund, right? Then you've just taken the mud with you. You didn't actually come out of it. And so I want to encourage us to stay out of the mud when we get out of the mud.
Yes, I was wondering. I feel attacked. Carry on.
You should feel seen, love.
No, no, that's how you meant that. Maybe how you feel. I feel attacked. Carry on.
Yeah. So, cut the grass. And this is do something. Who wants to talk about that one?
Yeah, just, the best way to get unstuck and to stay unstuck is to start doing it, start moving. Like I said, I think, Ro, you and I share this bias towards action, right? Like, it is let's go, let's run with it. And Gigi, we gonna get you there.
So it's so funny, and this is for
There
another
was shade
show.
in that. I didn't know mud could cast
Oh
shade.
my God. I mean, the shade is so real, but we're just going to keep that for another show. Carry on.
I didn't know mud could cast shade.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, well, if you were to line us up on a continuum, I'm the one that jumps in head first, mid-flight, saying, "Is there water?" You're on the other end of that.
And it is anyhow for another show.
No, it's just either way, we're different, and that's we're not monolith, and what got us stuck, what got us in the mud, what got us there, different paths to getting us there, right? And there'll be different paths to get us out and things that we need to do, but taking that, sometimes it could feel so heavy, or you may not know if you got to go left, you got to go right, how to, what you need to grab onto to get unstuck. And sometimes it is that small thing of finding that one. It could just be, you've had something sit in your Amazon cart for 6 days. Just close it out. Boop. That you need to go ahead and book those tickets to somewhere. Just open up the app. Sometimes it is just that small thing. And this is the part of the show where I will admit I am incredibly hypocritical. But, let's just call it out. Yeah.
No, so I think just as we're talking about all of these things, I'm taken back. I'm thinking about, when my car got stuck, right? And it was for a bunch of reasons, but like the engine, right? And they're like, well, you got to make sure you put oil in the engine. The oil in the engine is going to unstick your gears. What's your oil? How do you find your oil? What is that thing? Is it self-care? Is it prayer? Is it getting on the airplane? Is it whatever it is? What is your oil that you need to pour throughout your engine to help get those gears moving again? And so that is my desire for me. That is my desire for the both of you. That is my desire for everyone else who is under the sound of my voice. Find your oil. Find your oil.
And I think oil and dirt don't mix too well, so that's good. I think. I don't know. That's I don't know. That's all I got. I'm
Unless
stuck,
you're a mud
y'all.
wrestler, then you have oil and different show.
I know,
On that
different
note,
show. Yeah. On that note, I will hit y'all up in about 64 hours and 30 minutes. And with that.